Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Welcome to a brand new setup. Now, I don't know how high, fly, or where I should hold the phone, which is today's microphone because we're in an echoey room, so I've got to use a temporary microphone. I have the Sonic with me. We have a brand new set. We've got the chair, we've got the TARDIS, and we've got the other TARDIS. We're doing a test. I might be too zoomed out. I might not be. Who knows? I'm looking at the viewfinder the entire time, so let me just try and zoom in. This is only a test. And I look awful zoomed in. Oh, actually, I don't look that bad zoomed in. Let's see how I look. Let me just. Oh. So I've just seen the episode. I'm in the way, so I can't really see if I've done this correctly. No, I haven't done it correctly at all, guys. But because I've now synced the audio, we are in the whole of the audio. Let me just unzoom me out. Unzoom out. La la la. Right. Now we can just twiddle it. And there we go. Oh no. There we go. Now twist the tripod. Perfect. See, this is why we do this, so we can spend the whole video testing how it looks in the editing process. Now, I've just seen Doctor Who The Flux, chapter 3, I think, or it might be chapter 4. It's one big story. It's like Classic Who. I noticed it's like Classic Who. Now, what did I think of the episode? It was amazing. Out of this world. That cliffhanger at the end. So, as always, this is a spoiler review. So anything you hear, if you haven't seen the episode, well, what are you doing here? What are you doing on YouTube? Why are you following Doctor Who YouTubers? Because we're going to spoil the episode for you. Haha. There's a few questions been asked by the family since then. So, sit back, relax, grab a cup of tea, or spend 16 minutes with the Tom Meister, the Whovian, the ultimate Doctor Who YouTuber. Yeah, I did a little research. Now, it says this is a clock on it. But what it is, right, is I'm going to need you back. I love the episode. It was fantastic. Now, it began where the last episode ended, with the Weeping Angel. Now, what's really confusing me is I'll use this prop TARDIS for me. As you can see, the TARDIS looks normal, but when you look inside the TARDIS in this episode, the door's not where it was in the last episode. It's got wheels out. In the last episode, it's got legs. In the last episode, so you don't actually see the destruction of the TARDIS again. And it's intriguing. The Weeping Angel's got a cracked eye, which signifies that the Weeping Angel isn't like the rest in the pack. And it also signifies that it's a different. I thought it was a new design, but in actual fact, they're using the old design. I think these are better. I mean, we learn more about the Weeping Angels because in the Moffat era, we had not much information about them, and then in the the first Russell T Davies era, we discovered who they were, and then in the Lonely Assassin game, mobile app, console game now, we learned more about it, and I think it's the first time we've ever heard the Weeping Angels speak, because at one point Jericho is at the box and they're speaking to Jericho when we also hear him through Claire. Now Claire has returned from episode 1 because what they did is in episode 1 the actor introduced the main-ish characters so that they can slowly see them in. So Claire was already set up so that in this episode we can find out about why Claire is here. Now if you look at my phone, I just wanted to look, you can see I've got this fancy recording app that makes it look like I'm recording onto a tape. You probably you won't be able to see it, but that's what that light is just for any curiosity people out there. Now, was it a good episode? Yes. Would you rewatch it? Well, I'm currently, if you didn't already know, rewatching the whole of Doctor Who from, well, all the Survivor ones. There's about 14 left, according to Adam Martin, who was my first ever interviewee. It's a first ever, first of a time they've ever actually properly, well, I've seen them all before, but I've never actually done a rewatch where I've only ever done rewatches where I've watched the whole of the classic Who and then the whole of New Who set. Like, never done it where I've done from William Hartnell to Jodie Whittaker, and it's just so much fun. But learning the different writing styles of different writers and finding out that Chibnall's writing in this series is better than in Series 12. Now, in Series 12, there was a character called Benny. Now, in the George Shade universe, Ace Creeper, people love saying, Benny, 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 Benny. And what's really funny about that is the fact that we've got a new one. No, not Jericho. Don't worry, it's not Jericho. It was, I forgot what she's called. Peggy's grandfather. I can't remember his name off the top of my head because there was so many names to remember in this episode. Now, I've never seen In-Betweeners, and there was an In-Betweeners actor in this episode. Now, the storyline that got fixed, got solved, got improved on this episode was Claire Brown, obviously. Vinda towards the end, and Mel. Swarm passenger-ish, not much, but ish. And Dan and Yaz, not really. Yaz got to use more of policing skills in this episode, which is good for Yaz. Good for Yaz. But I do feel like we've learned more about the Timeless Child and the Division, that the escapist Cyberman, no, escapist, it's not an escape, that's not the word I'm looking for, escapist, it's rogue, that's the word, rogue Cyberman, rogue Weeping Angel, is part of the Division, or is the Division, what is the Division, Father asked. Couldn't really explain it in a brief second, but take too long. Now, did I love this episode? Bingo! Now let's properly review the episode. We'll start off at the beginning. At the beginning, we got to continue from where the cliffhanger ended, and we learned all about where they are, which was 1963. And the other year that was really important in this episode was 1901, and it opened with them looking for Peggy. Sagan Akinolan had a big part in this episode as well. You wouldn't expect the composer to have a big part in this episode. Well, he does. The bits in the trailer, in the promotional material before the trailer, where he's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't get in, we can't hold on any longer. Like that type of thing. That also did a return. And you learn a little bit about that scenario and that their version of Weeping Angels and how Peggy's teacher is Peggy. But I don't know how no one clocked on to that ever being the case. Now, with this episode, it sort of answers questions that we were having and then developed new questions. You learnt that Claire Brown was inhabited by a Weeping Angel. The Weeping Angel within her mind, and the Doctor can just jump into people's minds. I don't know how that worked. I'm not sure who Jericho is. I don't know whether he's a historical figure or not. I'm not too sure how Jericho actually works. But I think over time, we'll learn. I also need to remember to press save as on my voice recording. But we'll learn who Jericho is. I think he's a historical figure. If you know the answer, leave your comment section down below. And I'm rather excited to learn who Jericho is. Now, he's a scientist. He was examining Claire Brown, and Claire Brown had images and drawings of it. And the whole point that the Weeping Angels can now jump through TV, jump through paintings and drawings and forge out the fire, and if a weeping angel's in your eye, if wherever it is, it could get you. And I don't think Dan has ever got to ask the question to the Doctor of what's going on, who is she, blah blah blah, because Dan's just not had enough time to shine in a way of asking the questions about who the Doctor is, like a normal companion would. He just got chucked into it and went along with it. Now, Dan and Yaz got neglected most of this episode. They got put to use as in finding Peggy, sending back to 1901 to find Peggy, to be with Peggy, and to discover that Mrs. Harwood was Peggy. Now, if this audio on the phone didn't work, and you can sort of hear me, I do apologise about the cough. My mum's in her office. Do apologise, but that you probably didn't hear the cough. You probably didn't, because this, fingers crossed, worked. I'm really excited about where the next episode will lead, because we learned how, like, the slightest touch would send you back, but it sent them back to 1901. Peggy's grandparents are now dead, sadly, because of the Weeping Angels being taken them. And I think it worked really well this episode. The cliffhanger really was something you wasn't expecting. And I will talk a little bit about the next time trailer, because I have got something I want to point out from there. But I feel like the best bit of the episode was when the Weeping Angel stopped attacking the Doctor, and the Doctor walked out and got turned into a Weeping Angel, because it's cinematically looked beautiful. The VFX are amazing. The VFX when a whole village is like collapsing, you see the end of the world, the end of the universe, that's fantastic. It's just impeccable. It's amazing, it's glorious, and it's just visually stunning. Well done, Doctor Who. Just well done, Doctor Who in general, because the makeup artists are brilliant in this series. Swarm Easter, Passenger returned, and you got to learn about Belle. Now, Belle landed on this planet, and I'm not quite sure what this planet was, because one of the actors, I've never actually seen In-Betweeners, but one of the actors from In-Betweeners was on this planet, and this planet was where the Passenger and Swarm Easter were taking these people and capturing them in the Passenger's prison. But Belle managed to film this recording just in case Vista ever showed up on this planet and missed the opportunity. It's like on a voicemail, like, please answer this message after the beep. Babe, hello, how are you? I'm gonna be over there. Here's my message ended, and you run out of time, and the message is like, oh no, I wanted to get this message across. It was horrendous. But she never got to tell him, but he did discover it, but we'll talk about that towards the end of this review. Hopefully enjoying the new setup, hopefully enjoying the mini TARDISes here and there, and hopefully enjoying the little phone. It's not going to be like this all the time, but it's just an experiment. Now, what will the Weeping Angel Doctor give us? Well, hopefully the Weeping Angel Doctor will become Unweeping Angel, and we learn more about the division, because the rogue Weeping Angel briefly mentioned the division, and hopefully the series will end with discovering more about the Timeless Child, so that when the new Doctor comes in, we've ended the Timeless Child arc, so we can move the show forward instead of keeping it backwards. Because Russell T Davies will want a new, fresh look at it. So now knowing the knowledge of whatever the Timeless Child is, and now the Doctor's now knowing a lot more about the Timeless Child, and we don't mention it as much, but it's developed, it's changed the character going forward into the 14th incarnation. Depending on Doctors you think canon and aren't canon, and other bits and bobs, so technically 14th incarnation. I feel like the village didn't get enough in it, and the grandparents were only there just to be killed off. I feel like they were a Benny of this series. Benny! 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 It sounds like I'm saying Penny, but it's Benny. It's B, not a P. Ventriloquism is hard to say with a B and a P. Oh no, it's Benny! Benny! Salad! See, I can't even do ventriloquism. I don't know why I'm attempting to do it, but getting bored to the point. What a brilliant cliffhanger. Now, you think it's all over. The theme tune then plays again because the end credits, but it's more of a different theme tune. It's more of a William Hartnell-esque theme tune. It's got more of a, how do I put it? More of a William Hartnell-esque, and then it does this, and it cuts, and you're thinking, more story, and that's when you meet Vista, and Vista's bumped into a hologram version of Belle. Now, I want to talk about, now that we've finished talking about the episode, I want to talk about the Doctor. I mean, the Weeping Angels themselves. I thought we'd stand up for that. The Weeping Angels themselves, what are they? Who are they? And were they good in this episode? They were good in this episode. You've heard them speak now. I don't know whether that deep voice, I am a weeping angel. I don't know whether that deep voice was their official voice, but I'm not sure. We want to learn more about them speech, because I never knew a weeping angel could speak. And I also want to congratulate the episode. Now, I thought this was more of a spookier episode than Halloween Apocalypse, Series 1, Episode 1, so if I could control the series, if I were the showrunner, I would obviously have removed any Halloween aspect from Episode 1, and refilm it so it's non-Halloween-y, blah blah blah, nothing to do with Halloween, and it's that, and make this episode Halloween-y. But what's really good is every time there was a news article and every time they were saying the date, it was always November the 21st. Now today is Sunday, November the 21st, November the 21st, and it is incredible. November the 21st. It's hilarious that every time they say one, oh, it's November the 21st, 1962, or whatever. And it was funny because it is November the 21st, and it's hilarious. I think that's one of the funniest moments. But I like to say well done to Jericho. I'm excited for the next episode. Now, next time trailer, we saw the Ood are back, as we already knew, but we also saw Kate Lethbridge Stewart, who is the daughter of the Brigadier. I'm just going to say the Brigadier instead of Kate. I can't remember his full name off the top of my head, but he's the Brigadier. Now, Unit was murmured in Series 12 to be destroyed, the London branch anyway. I don't know about the Welsh branch. And it's sort of weird that she's in it, because we had also had some spoilers and leaks saying that during the centenary anniversary there was a Unit logo on the floor. Now, does that mean that Unit's... Thank you, Cuckoo Clock. You know, I thought it was a good room to film in, but no, go on, Cuckoo Clock. Cuckoo away. Well, that's a Cuckoo Clock for you. Well done, Cuckoo Clock. See, I knew I shouldn't film in here, because when you have that light on, the Cuckoo Clock goes off. Hopefully, it wouldn't happen all the time. I can tell you that now for a fact. So, there was an interruption from the Cuckoo Clock. Might be regular guest on the channel, Mr. Cuckoo. Or as I like to call him, Norman the Annoying Cuckoo Clock. Norman the Annoying Cuckoo Clock. Thank you, Norman. Anyway, but the episode was really good. The next time trailer is intriguing, and we learned more about the Division. Swarm needs to be in it, but Swarm East is in it, and Passenger was in it, so we got to develop that a little bit. And anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this brand new set. Time Automat. Bye! Was my review good? Who knows?